Zhang Yimou's 2002 film, Hero, shows one man's journey to assassinate the Emperor of Qin during the Warring States period of Chinese history. The film is often seen as a metaphor to the Chinese characteristics of national unity and preservation. The film won several cinematography awards for its artistic style and is universally renowned as one of China's greatest films. Zhang Yimou retells the same scene 3 different times, and he specifically uses the color pattern of each major section of the movie in order to visually display the complex and long history of China in relation to the Warring States period. The first third of Hero revolves around the color red, and Zhang uses this color in everything from costumes to scenery in order to represent the Warring States period, which saw China embroiled in a massive civil war for 250 years as 8 states fought for control of the Chinese mainland. And in the end, the Kingdom of Qin defeated everyone else. The color red has 2 meanings in China: the destructive force of fire and the idea of good fortune down the road. Zhang uses both meanings in his representation of the Warring States period. The first third of the movie is the most violent and passionate section of the film, and characters seem to be actively looking for conflict with other people in the movie. Friends turn on friends, and 2 main characters, Broken Sword and Moon, are killed because of their relationship with each other. The color red is used to show the harsh conditions of the Warring States period, and that exploitation was the only way to succeed in China's longest civil war. As much as the color red represents the destructive force of fire, Zhang also uses it to show how good can come from bad actions. The savage nature of the Warring States period may have led to death and obliteration, but it also led to the unification of China for the first time in 250 years. Zhang shows the audience that although there is a lot of suffering going on throughout the ages, the good of the state can lead to the prosperity of the people. The second major section of Hero is dominated by the color blue. In Chinese society, blue tends to represent vigor and vitality, and Zhang is trying to represent the post-Warring States period to his audience. Although circumstances force people to fight, there is strong resistance to the concept. Nameless is no longer trying to single-handedly kill the Emperor of Qin. He looks for other people to help him. Zhang is showing his audience that after the Civil War ends in 221 BC, the Chinese mentality switches from combative to preservative. The people of China band together so that the country can prosper and dominate the Asian subcontinent. Like in Hero, conflict may occur, but the overall peace of China remains constant throughout the dynastic period. Zhang may be presenting the concept in too noble a light, as conflict still existed in this post-Warring States period. However, there were no wars as destructive to the Chinese national spirit until several centuries after the Qin came to dominate the country. Zhang is showing his audience that to him, the strength of the country is more important than an individual life. Nameless is able to succeed because everyone is working towards a common goal instead of for their personal agenda. Zhang's use of blue shows the audience the powerful flow of Chinese dominance during the centuries after the Warring States period. And Hero demonstrates the great prestige of Chinese history. The final section of the movie is heavily influenced by the color white, which represents fulfillment within Chinese culture. Zhang uses white to represent the conclusion to modern Chinese history. This section revolves around the conflict between Broken Sword and Flying Snow. Broken Sword would rather see China united than have his personal vendetta fulfilled against the Emperor. Zhang's art direction acts as a careful metaphor for the battle between the nationalists and the communists in the early 20th century. Both sides want to see China prosper, but each has a different opinion as to what policies better suited the Chinese people. Just like the nationalists and communists worked together to defeat Japan, so too do Broken Sword and Flying Snow work to end the threat to their people. The white represents the end of the Warring States period, but it also represents the fact that China is a blank page in both turning points in history. Just as the nationalists and the communists are both Chinese, Flying Snow cannot exist without Broken Sword. The two are supposed to be inseparable, and when Flying Snow kills Broken Sword after learning he convinced Nameless to let the Emperor live, she is killing a part of herself. Zhang is symbolically showing the current conflict between Taiwan and China, and Zhang is telling the audience that unless China and Taiwan unite, the Middle Kingdom is incomplete. White represents an end, but not the finale to Chinese history. Hero's final message is one of reconciliation, and a plea for the Chinese to unite once again.